various disciples and devotees of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism coming and sharing their experience today. The Apta Pramana is from the great Hindu epic called Mahabharata, and in the Hindu epic Mahabharata narrates the sage Maitreya, who reveals the secrets to Vidura, the story of his birth in the human form, the reason for all his sufferings. Sage Maitreya accessed the Akashic records and told Vidura that he was not an ordinary man, but was in fact an incarnation of Yamaraja, the Lord of Death. He was to play the part of so-called Shudra for hundreds of years after being cursed by one of the rishis. The Atma Pramana, the account from the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, in the experience today, we can move to the next slide now. See, today, Devi Parashakti is going to manifest in the form of the Neja Avatara. And yesterday, one of the disciples had asked that she should be able to understand Tamil so that she can understand the Akashic readings. And Devi Parashakti revealed that the language she is speaking is not Tamil. The language that Devi Parashakti is revealing the Akashic records in is the Moola Mori, is the source language from which Tamil and from which Sanskrit were born. It is that Moola. Somebody who speaks Tamil, you will understand so many of the language, even though you may be able to understand what Devi Parashakti is revealing, because it is based on Tamil, or rather Tamil is based on that Mori. But there are so many words and so many phrases that are not Tamil. It is actually the Moola Mori, the original language of the source language of both Tamil and Sanskrit, and it is from this Moola Mori that Tamil and Sanskrit were born, and they were revealed by Devi Parashakti herself in the readings yesterday. And what are the benefits of Akashic reading? All the information you collected from your birth is in the DNA. You can access some of them just to understand, not to waste time doing the same actions again and again. Accessing the DNA code, reading the Akashic records will be useful for you to be liberated from your default future, bringing an end to binding cognitions, known and unknown suffering, leading you to experiencing enlightenment, Paramashivoham. Only an avatar can alter the Akashic readings. The initiated Balasans can view the Akashic records. However, only an avatar can alter, edit, upgrade, and change the Akashic records. During the darshan, Swamiji blesses and upgrades and updates the Akashic record of the devotee as per the prayer of the devotee. So what kind of questions that you can ask? You can ask any questions about your personal life, your career, job, health, what you want to manifest in your life. You can ask about what is the purpose of my life. You can ask about some past incident, or you can ask where you will be 5 years down the lane, 10 years down the lane. Anything about your past, present, or future, anything that you feel you need a guidance, you need some kind of a direction, you need a blessing, you can ask. You need healings, you need certain events to happen or certain auspicious things to happen. You can ask anything under the radar. And not just that, you can even ask questions about global issues. There are people who have asked about corona vaccine. There are people who have asked about when corona will end. So all these global issues, you can ask them as well. So any question that you feel like, you can ask those questions, and you are to ask the questions live while Devi Parashakti is manifesting through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. At that time, through either YouTube chat or Facebook chat or Twitter or WhatsApp, you can ask these questions, and we will be sharing with you in the further segments of this program how you can post these questions via social media. So now we will now enter into the next part of today's program, where we are going to share with you a beautiful miracles that have been performed by Bhagavan Paramashiva and Devi Parashakti from time immemorial, continuing till today. Now, let us take a look at the divine feminine consciousness, something that is very unique to Sanatana Hindu Dharma, something that is very unique to Hinduism. The unique contribution to the spiritual consciousness from the Vedic tradition is the sacred feminine worship. Even if everything from the Vedic tradition is lost, just the divine feminine consciousness, just the sacred feminine tradition, if this is kept alive, the whole tradition can be revived, because this is the seed. Hinduism has about 10,000 sampradayas. Now, if all the sampradayas are lost, but for some reason only this one sampradaya, the Devi worship, remains, the whole thing can be brought back, because the whole thing is centered on this one, mother worship. Mother worship carries the blueprint, the hologram of the entire Vedic tradition. In the words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he says that sacred feminine worship is the hologram of the Vedic tradition. There is no enlightened being on the planet Earth without, including me, without worshipping the sacred feminine. I am myself only followed Devi worship from the beginning. If you see my biography, and all the deities I have carved, the darshans I have had, all are mother-based, Devi-based.
Actually, that is why even Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa so beautifully says that Shiva is Brahman, the ultimate, but Devi has the key to reach Brahman. Unless she opens, nobody can reach. So actually, very beautifully he says, he describes the house scene. Even though husband is the owner, the key to the house will be in the hip of the mother. Either you have to fall at the feet of the mother or the small sons of the mother, because only they can touch that place and remove the key. Then nobody else can touch. So either surrender to mother or people who are closer to mother to reach mother. See, all the divine cosmic beings are real. They manifest from Kailasa. Understand? This is the first and most important truth. Parashakti is real. Paramashiva is real. Venkateshwara is real. All these divine cosmic beings are real. They manifest from Kailasa, the enlightened time-space zone, through deities and incarnations. In Madurai, Paramashiva as Bhagavan from Kailasa and established the greatest enlightenment ecosystem called Madurai. In Madurai, Bhagavan Somasundareshwara graced people of Madurai with various miracles. Swamiji beautifully tells, in Madurai, Paramashiva will stay in a frequency where he can be immediately, he can assume the human body just with one call of a devotee. He relates with you, answers to you, responds to you, raises you. That's why this whole Shivalila Nava Tantra, in the Shivalila Nava that happened in Madurai, beautifully Paramashiva reveals in every time how he assumes the body. When he assumes the body, the form to manifest certain power and grace the devotee, he exemplifies the expression of a certain sacred secret the humanity can benefit from. Whether we have been seeing in the last few days, how each person, he came and did different leelas, whether he came and appeared for Trignyana Sambandhar, or whether he appeared for the king, the Pandya king, or whether he appeared to give poem for someone. Not even Swami in Madurai, Paramashiva, how he manifested. He is like the cosmic 911. It is not even like he'll manifest to give you some great this thing after tapas to give you some darshan. No. Even for someone to answer the question of a king, he will manifest. To answer, to give the poem, to give gold coins to his devotee, dharmi, for him to get gold coins, he will manifest. The most simplest way, just the sincere call of a devotee, he manifests. Let us see some stories today. There are some. So we are going to actually take you through some of the leelas performed by Paramashiva in his city, Madurai. And now actually he's come down and he has established his own country. So now let's see the leelas that he did in Madurai. So this leela is called as Karunkurvikku paadam solli thandalile, actually where like he liberates the black sparrow. So actually the Madurai, the southern Pandya kingdom, which is in southern India, was actually at a particular point of time was still Orissa. And there is a king named Suguna Pandya. His deep prayer was, Paramashiva, even if I miss you, even if I forget you due to some reason, you should not leave me. You should come again and again after me. You should not give up on me, and you should initiate me into all the three flames. So this was the deep prayer that King Suguna Pandya had. And he also said, like, he prays telling, even if my logic denies, even if I become devoid of your presence in my life, you should not give up on me. You should initiate me from all the three planes. The three planes means whether it is in sleep or waking state, all the different states of consciousness. So in any of these states of consciousness, you should come and you should liberate me. So this is the prayer that he holds. And then he requests Paramashiva, and also he prays telling that I should gain back that beautiful feeling connection with you, with your initiation. So, and Paramashiva grants this boon by saying, Tatastu, so be it. And I won't give up on you, even if you give up on me. Paramashiva, as usual, as compassionate. So, Suguna Pandyan, when he went for a hunting, he killed a black sparrow out of fun, not for actual eating. See, there is a law in hunting that you cannot kill anything which you are not going to eat. That was the law in hunting. That was the dharma of hunting in the ancient days. Because he killed a black sparrow out of fun, he had to take birth as a black sparrow. So the Suguna Pandyan was cursed to be born as a black sparrow. So because of that, he lost his feeling connection with Paramashiva as Sundareshwara. But Paramashiva sends one of his Bhutaganas. The Bhutagana goes and stands under the tree where the black sparrow was sitting and starts loudly talking about the Shiva Leelas which happened when Suguna Pandya was a king. The moment the black sparrow heard all the stories, he regained the memory. But he got the memory, but he doesn't know what to do. He only regained the memory of the previous birth. And after regaining that memory, he starts crying. Sundareshwara, the most compassionate Paramashiva, appears in the dream of the black sparrow and says, come on, I am here in Madurai. The black sparrow immediately flies to Madurai. Then Sundareshwara takes the black sparrow in his hand and initiates, gives the Mrityunjaya mantra and Panchakshara mantra, the Maha mantra, Namah Shivaya as initiation. With that initiation, the black sparrow completes all the karmic package and he gets liberated. See, understand one thing. Paramashiva tests the will, persistence and strength of devotees. He tests only the tyaga of the real devotees. Before you connect, how you connect a house or to a gadget with electricity, you check the capacity of the wire, right? Just like that. Paramashiva tests only your capacity of tyaga, because only then you will be able to receive it. This tyaga is this core principle of Sanatana Hindu Dharma.
And now we will see another story from the life of the great saint Nithyananda Paramashivam. The next slide, Ma. Yes. See, yesterday we all saw the story of his birth, how he got enlightenment. Now there's one more Leela in the life of Nithyananda Paramashivam. At Madurai, one day what happens, on seeing the number of people visiting the Tirumadalayam to meet Jnana Sambandha, the Samanargal, which are the Samanargal are the Jain monks, became jealous. At that point in time, there were a particular group of people.
Actually, they were the people who used to perform black magic, Shaivism.
So there were some anti-Hindu spiritual elements. So they see Nithyananda Paramashivam and they become jealous, and they brought this to the notice of the king, who immediately orders to put a stop to this. That night, the Samanargal lit fire to the Tirumadalayam. Tirumadalayam was a place where Jnanasambandara has established his peetam and he was sitting and meeting people. That is
The
set on fire.
Tiru means that is the sacred
Mada.
So, and literally worshipped as a temple.
But however, when the anti-Hindu elements set the fire, nobody inside was affected by the fire. And on finding out that the fire was instigated on the king's order, Jnanasambandar was upset. He curses the king. He's with the power of his enlightenment. He changed the fire into a fever called wakeful, with which the king was now suffering. He said, the same fire that came here, the same fire that was made here, let it go back to the king and let it manifest as a disease in the king. The summoner girl tried everything that they can do to heal the king. Somehow they wanted to save the king, but failed. Instead, the fever kept increasing. Kun Pandian was in deep regret for his actions.
Kun Pandian was the name of the king.
And Kun Pandian means he had a hunched back. And that's why he's called as Gun Pandian. Gun Pandian itself means hunched back. And Mangayar Karasi was the king's wife, the queen, and Kulasirayar. So they both went to the king and told him that the reason for this fever was because of the abuse that he did to Tirujnanasambandar. Then they requested him to come to the palace. He decided, all right, they wanted to get healing from Tirujnanasambandar. They knew that was the only way. So they requested Tirujnanasambandar to come to the palace and heal the king. Just hearing that Sambandar was coming to the palace caused the king's fever to decrease. It decreased further on by having his darshan.
Understand, this is exactly what happens in abuse and incarnation. When because Kun abused Avatar, he started experiencing all these diseases that he was going through. After this, Tirujnanasambandar had come. He sat on the throne near the king's head. By now, the Samanar girl had surrounded him. Samanar girl are these black magicians. And Mangayar Karasi was, even though she had to live around these people, the Samanar girl, and the king who was also converted into that religion, she used to take the bhasma and apply it inside her clothes, so that still she used to worship Paramashivoham. She was deeply devoted, and Mangayar Karasi was worried that they invoked to harm Tirujnanasambandar. And by the power of his initiation, he understood her feelings and said, the eternal blessings of Paramashiva are with us. So nothing can happen to us. Do not worry. And this called Mangayar Karasi. And what happens is, now, though this was happening between, now the anti-Hindu elements that were there, the monks that were there, what they did, they were not able to take it. They said, all right, you do the right, heal the whole right side of the king. We will prove our power. We will heal the left side of the king. Then Jnanasambandar agrees for this. So Jnanasambandar sings a beautiful song called Mandiram Avadu Neeru. And as he applies the bhasman and sings the song, the whole right side, the fever drastically reduces and he just heals. The king is healed on the right side, but left side is still in immense suffering. So the king says, he realizes his mistake. He falls at Jnanasambandar's feet and says, please heal me. I am not able to bear this fever anymore. Just heal my whole body. And the other anti-Hindu elements were ashamed at their loss. So immediately out of his compassion, Tirujnanasambandar sings again. He sings the Mandiram Avadu Neeru, the song again, and he's fully cured. The Samanar girl wanted to have another test. So they wrote all their mantras on an olai, on a palm leaf scripture, and they put them into
fire. So they took all the mantras and they put it on the fire.
So what they thought was these palm leaf scripts. So they all wrote their mantras and they put. And Trignana Sambandha wrote the Talirla Valaroli, a beautiful Tamil poem. So he composed it, he wrote that, and they took that also and put it into the fire. And except for his, so the moment that was, see, all that the Samanargal put got burnt. Moment Thirugnana Sambandhar's was put, the whole fire turned into green.
Actually, that's why the scripture is still called Pachai Padigam. Because that whole scripture, the palm leaf, did not get burned. The power, the authenticity, the enlightenment that Thirugnana Sambandhar was in, the whole Padigam, what he wrote, did not even get burned.
Actually, instead of that, it became green, meaning the leaves, see, you take the palm leaves and it's dry, right? Instead, the palm leaves became green in color. So that is why it is called as Pachai Padigam, even to this day. Despite losing their pride a second time, the Samanargal wanted a third test. And so this is where this is called as a Poonal Vadan, or the debate. So Kulasiriyar, so he was the minister of the king of Kulpandian, and he was the one who was also very deeply connected to Paramashivoham. Kulasiriyar did not intend to oblige, as he felt the truth has already been proven twice, and third time was unnecessary. To convince everyone, the Samanargal declared that if they lost the third time, the king could punish them in any way he wanted. Thirugnana Sambandhar accepted, and everyone goes to beautiful river Vaigai in Madurai, the shore of Vaigai. And Samanargal wrote their mantras on Olay Chodi once more, on the palm leaves, and put them into the river. The leaves floated away due to the current of the river. Thirugnana Sambandhar did the same. But this time, the leaves went against the current. Now, the truth was established, it was proved, and thus the Shaiva Samayam was re-established. And these leaves were brought to Thirugnana Sambandhar later. And then, even today, it is called as Yettu Puja, is done at Adinam every day.
And actually, what happens when all the Samanargal saw the truth is proved, and the leaves, all the leaves are worshipped and everything, they were unable, that they had the deep guilt of abusing an incarnation. Actually, Swamiji tells beautifully, when you know the truth, even you will not be able to handle yourself. Even by ignorance, you should never abuse an avatar. And when they realized this, when they saw they were in such deep guilt, there were 8,000 monks, and many of them decided to commit suicide. Even after that, Thirugnana Sambandhar neither killed nor ordered the king to kill them. Whoever wanted to live, whoever decided to stay back, Thirugnana Sambandhar initiates all of them, accepted all of them into the fold of Thirugnana Sambandhar, along with him to spread and revive the mission. Understand? Thousands of years ago, we all listen to these as stories, right? Paramashiva came down. Paramashiva has done all this. Thirugnana Sambandhar has done all these leelas. Paramashiva himself has made himself available and done the leelas. Understand? The cosmic 911, Paramashiva, that existed long back. What you all hear as story is a science truth. It's a truth, it is as scientific, and it is as experiential as we can experience today. We have Paramashiva and Parashakti, who themselves have come down, performing leelas in the lives of devotees. Whoever calls them out of their sincere love, immediately he manifests. Paramashiva and Parashakti, themselves having come down in the Nija Avatara, the embodied form as a supreme pontiff of Hinduism, he himself is performing the leelas in the lives of his devotees, attending to their innocent prayers, answering and healing their deepest guilt or pain. And causing miracles to them, manifesting immense health, wealth, and abundance to all of them. There are thousands of such leelas. Let us get ready to hear from a few of the devotees who have joined with us to share their stories, their experiences, the miracles that they have witnessed in their lives. All the YouTube viewers, I know this is one of the most favorite segment of all of yours. This is a time where many of you will be like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? And many of you are engaging and commenting. So please stay tuned. We are having a lot of them from different parts of the world, different cultures, different backgrounds, who have experienced Parashakti. So let us get ready. And for this segment, we have Ma Tilagavati joining with us today, the first participant who's here to share. And then we have many others who have joined us with us as well. So we will enter into the sharing just after a short break.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
The modern day. So here we have it, Tilagavati. Yes.
Nithyanandamma.
Nithyanandamma.
Nithyanandam. Yes.
Tilagavati.
Just having the operator project view. Meanwhile, all the YouTube viewers, Ma Divyananda, there are so many of you who are actively commenting, engaging, sharing your excitement and joy. So let us know, listen to each of these sharings. You never know. This might be a breakthrough for you in your life when you see others experience the same. So stay tuned and keep letting us know what you feel, what clicks with you in each of their sharing. So, yes, Nithyanandamma.
அதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து நான் குரு வேணும் நிறைய நான் பரமாத்மா கிட்ட வேண்டிக்கிட்டே இருப்பேன். 2000 எனக்கு வந்து 30 இயர்ஸா வீசிங் இருந்தது. இப்போ வந்து எனக்கு நான் அந்த வீசிங் வந்ததுன்னு 2009ல இருந்து ஒரு நாள் கூட நான் சுவாமி கிட்ட நான் வந்து ஹீல் பண்ண சொல்லி கேட்கவே இல்லை. நிறைய ப்ரோக்ராம் அட்டென்ட் பண்ணிருந்தேன்.
நீங்க பேச நாங்க மொழிபெயர்த்து பண்ணிடுறோமா? சோ ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ் சொன்னீங்கன்னா ஈஸியா நாங்க டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிடுவோம். சோ Tilagavati joining us from Chennai, and she said since 2009 she met Swamiji and she's been connected to Swamiji, and for almost 30 years in her life she's been suffering with wheezing, but
30 years.
Sorry ma?
30 years, 30 வருஷமா.
30 years. So since 30 years she's been suffering with wheezing, and she's never told that to Swamiji. She's never verbalized it. She's never asked that to Swamiji. Yes ma'am.
ஏன்னா எனக்கு சுவாமிக்கு வந்து தெரியும் நமக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியும். சுவாமி கிட்ட நம்ம எதையுமே கேட்க வேண்டாம். எல்லாமே ஒவ்வொரு நிமிஷமும் என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கைய அவர் தான் இந்த நிமிஷம் வரைக்கும் நடத்திட்டு இருக்கிறாரு. அந்த வீசிங் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்ததுனால தானே இன்னைக்கு நான் வந்து பராசக்தி கிட்ட அந்த அருள்வாக்கு வாங்கி இன்னைக்கு உங்களோட ஷேர் பண்ற அந்த தருணம், அதுக்கு நான் அந்த வீசிங் தான் நன்றி சொல்லுவேன். எப்பவுமே நானு சுவாமி சொல்வாரு, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு வியாதினாலும் அதுவும் உங்களுடைய ஞானத்தை கொடுக்கறதுக்காக வந்திருக்கோம். அந்த விதத்துலதான் நான் நிறைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் எனக்கு கிடைச்சிருக்கு. நான் எந்த அவங்க ஒரு டிவைன் டாக்டரா இருப்பாங்க, அவங்க நிறைய எனக்கு அந்த ஞான மொழிகளை தான் கொடுப்பாங்க. அப்பெல்லாம் நான் இந்த வீசிங்க்கு நான் நன்றி சொல்றேன் டாக்டர், உங்களை அதனாலதானே மீட் பண்ணேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவேன்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம். So she was saying that even though she has suffered for 30 years, she is never asked the Swamiji because she knows that if Swamiji knows when to give, what to give, and she feels she should not ask Swamiji. Swamiji will know it. And also, she feels that having the reason for this 30 years is what made her have this experience of Akashic reading. So she feels actually the reason was a cause for her to have this Akashic reading and such experience. And she beautifully told that Swamiji tells every disease or anything that you have is manifested for a reason. There is a reason that it happens for, and she feels she having that reason, the disease in her body has been a reason for her to manifest many things in life. Like Swamiji has been taking care throughout, and she felt that every doctor she met, every person she met were not normal doctors. It was all like a divine happening, because many of these doctors talk to her the powerful cognitions and the powerful truths. Yes, ma'am. Even you continue.
நான் மீட் பண்ண எல்லா டாக்டர்ஸுமே ஒரு குருவோட இருந்திருப்பாங்கம்மா. இந்த மாதிரிதான் எல்லாம் நான் சொல்லிட்டே போவேன். நான் இவர்கிட்ட போறேன், சுவாமி நீங்க தான் அவர் மூலியமா என்கிட்ட பேசுறீங்க, நீங்க தான் ஹீல் பண்றீங்க அப்படின்னு. அதே மாதிரி எல்லாருமே டாக்டர்ஸ், இவர் அலோபதி எல்லாம் போனது கிடையாது, சித்தா ஆயுர்வேதா அந்த மாதிரிதான் அக்குபஞ்சர் டாக்டர்ஸ். அவங்க எல்லாமே எனக்கு சக்ரா ஹீலிங் எல்லாம் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நம்ம சுவாமிஜி நமக்கு என்ன சொல்றாரோ அதையெல்லாம தான் அவங்க சொல்லுவாங்க. சோ சுவாமியே தான் நான் அங்க பாப்பேன், எந்த டாக்டர்கிட்ட போனாலும் அதே தான் பார்ப்பேன். ஆனா இப்போ கடைசியா இந்த கொரோனா வந்ததுனாலதான் நமக்கு இந்த வீசிங்னால யூஸ்வலா இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளமா இல்ல கொரோனா வந்துருச்சா அப்படிங்கிற அந்த ஒரு பயம். ஏன்னா எல்லாமே அதுக்கு ரிலேட்டடா தானே இருக்கு சிம்டம் எல்லாம். இப்பதான் எனக்கு சுவாமி எனக்கு இதுவா அதுவா ஒரே கன்ஃபியூஷனா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு கடைசியா நான் அப்ப கூட சுவாமிக்கு நான் மெசேஜ் பண்ணல, ஆத்ம பிரியாமா கிட்ட ஹீல் பண்ணுங்கம்மா எனக்கு இந்த வீசிங்க, சுவாமி ஒன்லி சுவாமிஜி கேன் ஹீல் மீ அப்படின்னு ஒரு மெசேஜ் போட்டேன் நான் அவங்களுக்கு. அவங்க அடுத்த நாள் நான் உனக்கு ஹீல் பண்றேன்னாங்க. 2 daysல பராசக்தி ரீடிங்ஸ் வரும்போது என்னோட டாட்டர் தான் எழுதிட்டே போட்டுக்கிட்டே இருந்தா, என்னுடைய மதருக்கு 30 years வீசிங் இருக்கு, கியூர் பண்ணுங்க சுவாமின்னு. ஒரு வித்தின் 2 minutes அவ போட்ட 2 minutes நானும் போட்டு என்ன போடு நான் போட்டுட்டே இருந்தேன். ஆனா அவ போட்ட செகண்ட் மினிட்டே அவளுக்கு உடனே ஆன்சர் வந்துருச்சு. ரம்யா கணேஷ் உன் தாய்க்கு
நான் ஜஸ்ட் சின்ன டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் பண்ணிடுறேன் நீங்க இது வரைக்கும் சொன்னது. So she was sharing about how she was going through this wheezing, and was understanding that every saw how Swamiji was flowing through, even whether the doctors she was speaking to or anyone that she was speaking to, it was Swamiji who was flowing through them and answering to her, be it healing her, being with her, everything. And after this COVID had started, and again when she experienced this wheezing where you experience breathing difficulty basically. So she experienced that, and this time she's confused whether am I experiencing COVID or am I having wheezing? Like, I'm confused, Swamiji. You should only do this for me. And she messaged one of the sannyasis, and the sannyasis replied telling that, okay, don't worry, Swamiji will heal. After that, the Parashakti Akashic reading had started. In Parashakti Akashic reading, if you all might be noticing, and in 1 minute it will be like hundreds of comments
just flooding in. And at that time, her daughter put one question, telling that, oh mother, my mother has been suffering with 30 years of wheezing. Go ahead, ma.
உடனே பராசக்தி சொல்லிட்டாங்க, ரம்யா கணேஷ், உன்னுடைய தாய்க்கு 30 வருடங்களாக இருந்த அந்த வியாதி 3 நிமிடத்தில் போய்விடும். மஞ்சளையும் வேப்பிலையும் எடுத்து அவள் மார்பில் தடவு போ அப்படின்னாரு. உடனே அந்த செகண்டே போய் எடுத்து அதை தடவிட்ட உடனேயே அந்த நிமிஷத்துல இருந்து இந்த நிமிஷம் வரைக்கும் எனக்கு அந்த பிரீதிங் ப்ராப்ளமே இல்லம்மா. அவ்வளவு டீப் பிரெத் வந்து எப்பவுமே வந்து என்னுடைய மூச்சு வந்து சுவாமிஜி தாமா, என்னுடைய மூச்சு நீங்க தானே சுவாமி, என்னுடைய உள்ள போகிற மூச்சு நீங்க தானே, உள்ள வாழ்றதும் நீங்க தானே, ஆனா அந்த மூச்சு இழுக்க ஏன் நான் இவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்படுறேன் அப்படின்னு நான் கேட்டேன். அந்த லாஸ்டா இப்போ வந்து இந்த நிமிஷம் வரைக்கும் எனக்கு அந்த மூச்சு ப்ராப்ளம்ங்கிறதே இல்லம்மா. அவ்வளவு ஒரு ஆனந்தமா நான் சாமியோட இருக்கம்மா. என்னுடைய ஒவ்வொரு வாழ்க்கையுடைய ஒவ்வொரு நிமிஷத்தையும் அவர் தாமா நடத்துறாரு.
Beautiful, ma. I'll just translate it to everyone. So she was sharing how a moment she put that question, understand thousands of questions keep coming, right? Her daughter's name and said 3 minutes. Just go apply turmeric and neem paste on her chest. And understand, as she was sharing, she was continuing. When this paste was applied on her chest, so the moment Devi told, she immediately went and applied that. From that moment, wheezing disappeared, and till now it has not come back. She says, many times I'll pray to Swamiji, Swamiji, you are my breath. So why am I finding it difficult to take you inside? But now she says she feels so blissful, because from the moment Devi just uttered till now, that wheezing has completely disappeared.
30 years of her suffering, 30 years of the wheezing that she has had has healed in 3 minutes, just with the power of one word of Devi's. Wow. Ma, actually நிறைய பேர் வந்து நீங்க பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிற ஷேரிங் வந்து ஹார்ட் போட்டு நிறைய ஸ்மைலி எமோஜி போட்டு நிறைய கமெண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய பேர் இது ரிலேட் பண்றாங்க. அதே மாதிரி ராதாகிருஷ்ணன்றது வந்து நைஸ் போட்டோ சுவாமிஜிஸ் காலவேர தரிசனம், பின்னாடி இருக்கிற போட்டோ பார்த்து நைஸ் போட்டோ சுவாமிஜிஸ் காலவேர
உயிரம்மா, அது உயிர்.
ரொம்ப நன்றி ஆக்சுவலா ஷேர் பண்ணதுக்கு. தேங்க் யூ சோ மச். வேற என்ன நீங்க ஷேர் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க?
நிறைய இருக்குமா என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கை. நான் இன்னைக்கு உயிரோட இருக்கிறேன்னா அது சுவாமி குருவா எனக்கு கிடைச்ச அப்புறம் தாமா. இல்லைன்னா நான் இந்த நிமிஷம் உங்களோட பேசவே முடியாது. அந்த அளவுக்கு சுவாமி என்னுடைய ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் என்னுடைய ஒவ்வொரு அணுலையும் செல்லுலயும் சுவாமி தான் இருக்காரு, வேற எதுவுமே கிடையாது. என்ன வந்து சுவாமி பார்க்க கூடாதுன்னு என்னுடைய ஹஸ்பண்ட் வந்து கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணியிருந்தாரு. 2013ல இருந்து சாமியோட கிளாஸ் எல்லாம் அட்டன் பண்ணவே இல்லை. நான் அதுக்கு முன்னாடிதான் அட்டன் பண்ணினேன். பட் கும்பமேளாக்கு சுவாமி ஒரு மிராக்கிள் பண்ணி என்னையும் என் டாட்டரையும் அங்க வர வச்சாரு. 42 days நாங்க அங்க இருந்தோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் சுவாமியை மீட் பண்ணல நானு. அதையும் மிராக்கிளா பண்ணி, பட் வந்த அப்புறமா என்னோட ரொம்ப வந்து ப்ராப்ளம் பண்ணி பேச மாட்டாரு, வீட்டுல சாப்பிட மாட்டாரு, அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாரு. ரொம்ப தப்பா பேசுவாரு அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம். ஆனா நான் வந்து எவ்வளவு அவர் தப்பா பேசினாலும் பேசாம சாமி கிட்ட போய் உட்காந்துட்டு, நீ தான் இங்கேயும் இருக்க, அங்க அவருக்குள்ளே இருக்கிறதும் நீ தான், அங்கிருந்து நீ பேசுற, இங்க இருந்து நீ வாங்கிக்கோ அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு பேசாம இருந்துருவேன். நான் எந்த இதுவுமே எனக்கு கண்ணுல கண்ணீர் வராது, அவமானமா இருக்காது, எதுவுமே இருக்காது. நீ பேசுற, இங்க இருந்து நீயும் வாங்கிக்கோ அப்படின்னு இருப்பேன். பட் நான் வந்து இப்ப என் ஹஸ்பண்டுக்கு தேங்க் பண்றேன். ஏன்னா அவர் எந்த அளவுக்கு என்னை வந்து இப்படி இழுத்தாரோ சாமி கிட்ட இருந்து, அந்த அளவுக்கு ஃபோர்ஸா நான் இன்னும் சாமியை நினைக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டேன். இன்னும் வெறித்தனமா ஆயிடுச்சு எனக்கு. உள்ளுக்குள்ளேயே நான் வந்து சாமியை அப்படியே ஃபயர் ஆக்கிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருந்தேன். அதனால என்னுடைய ஹஸ்பண்டுக்கு நான் தேங்க் பண்றேன். பட் அவர் போன வருஷம் தவறிட்டாரு. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி கடைசியா ஒரு டயலாக் நடந்தது எனக்கும் அவருக்கும். சாமியை பத்தி அவர் பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது நான் வந்து என்ன பண்ணேன், அடிச்சு சொன்னேன், சாகரத்துக்குள்ள அவர் கடவுளுங்கிறத நிரூபிப்பாரு, நீங்க கும்பிடுற அதே பெருமாள் தான் அவரு, சிவன் தான் அவருங்கிறத நிரூபிப்பாருன்னு நான் சத்தியம் பண்ணினேன். எப்படி சொல்றேன்னா, எனக்கு அதெல்லாம் தெரியாது, பட் நிரூபிப்பாரு அப்படின்னு. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன ஆச்சு, அவருக்கு வந்து அவருக்கும் கொஞ்சம் லங்ஸ் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்தது, ஹார்ட் பேஷண்ட்.
inside ஏதாவது சொன்னாங்க, just translate பண்ணிருக்கோம்.
So we just asked her, so what else do you want to share? She says her today she being alive itself is a testimony of Swamiji's divine leelas in her life. She's sharing how even every breath that she takes, the reason that she's alive, it is because of Swamiji. It seems from the year 2013, there was a lot of obstacles that she had to face in connecting with Swamiji, because her house, especially her husband, was against. And due to some miracle that Swamiji did, she and her daughter got to attend the Kumbh Mela that happened in 2016, and they came and attended for 42 days. And even after she went back, still her husband seemed to remain the same. He was still fighting back with her. And at one point,
and he would not eat in the house, and he would disrespect, he would just abuse Swamiji. And at that point, she was saying her only cognition would be, Swamiji, it is you are everywhere, you are with me, you are in the person who is talking, and you are in the person who is receiving also. So I have nothing, I have no shame, I have no guilt, I will not have any anger, I will not shed a single drop of tear. And she was saying she feels blessed, because all the abuse that her husband had done, only what, as much as her husband tried to pull her away from Swamiji, so much of connection and so much more feeling connection increased, and with a lot more intensity and ferociousness, she became more and more connected, more and more closer to Swamiji.
And at this moment, she was having a conversation, a very heated argument with her husband. And that time she threw a challenge, telling, I am telling this, I'm promising this to you, that you will understand one day Swamiji will show you, before you die, Swamiji is going to prove to you how the same Shiva that you're worshipping, the same Perumal, Vishnu that you're worshipping, is who Swamiji is. Yes. Continue, Ma.
And sorry, just one last thing. Also, she told very recently her husband had passed away also, and this argument happened just a year or so before her husband passed away. Yes, Ma.
இந்த இவர் என்ன வந்து இவ்வளவு அவமானப்படுத்துறது எல்லா ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸ்க்கும் தெரிஞ்சிருச்சுமா. எல்லார்ட்டையுமே அத பத்தி பேசிட்டாரு, எல்லாத்தையுமே அசிங்கப்படுத்தி இருந்தாரு. பட் நான் எதுக்குமே கவலைப்பட மாட்டேன். இந்த நான் பட்டைய விபூதி 3 பட்டை வச்சுட்டு ஆபீஸ் போவேன், அதுக்கெல்லாம் கேலி பண்ணுவாரு. அப்புறம் இந்த மாலையை பத்தி கேலி பண்ணுவாரு, கேவலமா பேசுவாரு. கேலி பண்ணாலும் பரவாயில்ல, ரொம்ப அசிங்கமா பேசுவாரு. அதுக்கெல்லாம் நான் எதுக்குமே கவலைப்படவே மாட்டேன், பயப்படவும் மாட்டேன். சரி பேசுனா பேசிக்கிட்டோம் சொல்லிட்டு நான் பாட்டு போயிட்டே இருப்பேன். எல்லா சொந்தக்காரருமே கேவலமா தான் பேசுறேன், ஏன்னா இவரே அந்த மாதிரி பேசி எல்லாருமே ஒரு மாதிரிதான் நினைப்பாங்க. பட் எதை பத்தியும் கவலைப்படாம இருந்த கடைசியா, ஆனா அவரை மட்டும் நானே உடம்பு முடியலன்னா பக்க 100% சுவாமிஜி தான் நான் அங்கேயும் இருக்காரு, நமக்கு இது கடமை, நல்லா வந்து கவனிச்சுப்பேன். கடைசி அந்த ஒரு 1 வீக் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் அட்மிட் ஆயிட்டாரு, அப்போலோல அட்மிட் ஆயிருந்தாரு. அப்ப கிட்ட இருந்து நல்லா பாத்துட்டு இருந்தேன். கடைசி நாள் என்னாச்சு, அவரு என்ன கூப்பிட்டுட்டு நம்ம டிவோட்டிஸ் வந்து ஹீல் பண்ணிட்டு அவர் சொன்னாரு 11th hour ஆயிடுச்சு, இப்ப பண்ணி என்ன பிரயோஜனம் அப்படி எல்லாம் சொன்னாங்க. ராஜசேகர் ஐயா வந்து ஹீல் பண்ணாரு கடைசியா. நடராஜன் ஐயாவும் முன்னாடி ஒரு தடவை ஹீல் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. பட் அடுத்த டைம் நல்லா ஆயிட்டோம்னு அவங்க வீட்டுக்கு வந்து மதிக்கவே மாட்டாரு, அந்த மாதிரி இருந்தாரு. கடைசி நாள்ல என்ன கூப்பிட்டு நான் உள்ள போறதுக்குள்ளேயே யார்கிட்டயும் சொல்லி அனுப்பினாரு, அவளை முதல்ல வர சொல்லு உள்ள அப்படின்னு. போன உடனேயே கருப்பு என்ன அடிச்சுதுப்பா அப்படின்னாரு. என்ன நீங்க சொல்றீங்க, நீங்க எல்லாம் அதெல்லாம் நம்ப மாட்டீங்களே அப்படி சொன்ன. இல்ல அடி வாங்கின எனக்கு தானே தெரியும், நல்லா அடிச்சுது என்ன அப்படின்னாரு. அப்படியா, சரி அது சாமி தான், நீங்க ஒன்னும் அதை பத்தி திங்க் பண்ணாதீங்க, நல்லதுதான் அப்படின்னு. அதுக்கப்புறம் திரும்பவும் கூப்பிட்டு, அப்படி போனவளை கூப்பிட்டு நீ அந்த நித்யானந்தரை கும்பிட்டுக்கோ அப்படின்னாரு. சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு 3 hours இறந்துட்டாருமா. இத அவருக்கு இருக்கிற ஈகோக்கு இத சொல்லணும்னு அவசியம் இல்ல, சொல்லாமையே கூட போயிருக்கலாம் இல்லைங்களா? அந்த ஈகோ எல்லாம் விட்டுட்டு கடைசியில எனக்கு அத சொன்னாரு, நித்யானந்தரை கும்பிட்டுக்கோ, கருப்புங்கிறது நான் உயிரா நினைக்கிற கருப்பு சுவாமி, அத கருப்புனே சொன்னாரு. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு
So she was telling how her husband used to keep mocking her even when she applies basma and goes to the office or wears Rudraksh mala. Her husband used to keep ridiculing her and mocking her and used to keep abusing Swamiji in front of her, etc. And she kept bearing all those. And at one point, so when he was in his deathbed, actually multiple times before that, whenever he falls sick, when they give spiritual healing, Swamiji's devotees will come and give healing. He will recover, but again he'll start abusing back. So this cycle kept repeating. And once he was, then finally he was admitted and he was in his final deathbed. Then all of a sudden he came and he suddenly called last day. He suddenly called. Actually, just
that. She had just one point I wanted to add. Just before that, she told that even through that, though she went through the abuse or whatever, her only cognition, like what she kept was, Swami, you are only inside him also. At least for that reason, let me take care of him sincerely to the best of my ability. So even though he used to abuse and that whatever happened, but she used to give her best to take care. Even when he was in the last 1 week in the hospital, her husband was in the hospital, she used to give her best to take care of him, of whatever happened, just because she felt, Swamiji, you are in everyone. Just for that reason, I need to take that.
And so she declared like that, and she started taking care of her husband. And that final day, and he's already in his deathbed almost, and he was about to die. He suddenly called her and told. She said she is also a great chat that she worships Kala Bhairava. All of us can even see there's a picture of Kala Bhairava just behind her. So she said that's the one whom she worships, Karupar. Suddenly her husband called and told he was in his deathbed lying down. Karupar came and hit me. She couldn't understand. She's like, what are you telling me about? Karupar, the one who you worship, he came and bet me. She said, no, don't worry. It's Swamiji. Don't think too much. He said, no. I only got the beating. No, I only know. You know what? You please worship Swamiji. You worship Swamiji. And then, see, understand? Just few months before this, she had taken up a challenge telling, because her husband used to keep abusing and being against her, going to Swamiji. She took up a challenge telling, I challenge you that Swamiji is going to prove to you that Swamiji is Paramashivoham and Swamiji is Mahavishnu, the one whom you are worshipping. And exactly like that, just 3 hours before he left his body, before her husband left his body, he told her, you know what, please worship Swamiji.
Wow.
And he left his body.
We're having like really, I'm getting goosebumps as I listen to it. How much Swamiji attends. We're having Ma Devika Rani Hospital. Her life story is so touching. Ma Paramashiva is real. Ma Chandanandita has put. The clarity she has is strengthening and reinforcing our devotion to appreciable Ma. Ma, thank you so much, Ma.
ரொம்ப நன்றிமா இதெல்லாம் ஷேர் பண்ணதுக்கு.
சாமி உங்களுக்கு நிரூபிப்பாரு, ஆரின் காட்டுவாருன்னு சொன்ன இல்லைங்களா, சத்தியம் பண்ண இல்லைங்களா, அந்த சத்தியத்தை நிரூபிச்சிட்டாரு இல்லையாமா சுவாமி. என்ன கருணையம்மோ இருக்கு. அத பண்ணாம இருந்து அவர் இறந்திருந்தாருன்னா நான் இன்னைக்கு கில்ட்ல தானே இருந்திருப்பேன். அவருடைய ஈகோ விட்டுட்டு நீ சாமியை கும்பிட்டு அந்த இதுவா அந்த தர்ஷனம் எனக்கு சொல்லணும்னு கூட அவசியம் இல்லை. அவர் அவ்வளவு யூகோயிஸ்டிக். அந்த கூப்பிட்டு என்ன சொல்றாரு, கருப்பு என்ன அடிச்சுது. கருப்பெல்லாம் அவர் நம்ப மாட்டார். கருப்புன்னா என்னன்னு தெரியாது. கருப்பு என்ன அடிச்சுது, அடி வாங்கின எனக்கு தானே தெரியும். நீ அவரை நித்யானந்தரை கும்பிட்டுக்கோ, பேரை சொல்லியே
I just translated. She actually, she's right now and like, you know, that she's unable to control herself. She's just overflowing the tears of gratitude. She says, you know what, Ma? I took up a challenge. I took up a Sati Sankalpa, challenging him, telling that, you know, Swamiji will show to you before you die. But even at that moment, my husband is very egoistic. He could have just, without saying, he could have left his body. But look at Swamiji's compassion. Swamiji is too compassionate. That is why he made sure. Otherwise, my husband would have left his body without telling me this. I would till date, I would have been in guilt. But look at Swamiji's compassion, Ma. He made sure my husband told this to me. He, dropping his ego, he told this to me. Actually, he does not even believe. He does not know who is Karupar. He does not believe in Karupar. But he came and told me that, you know what? Karupar came to me and he begged me, you please worship Nithyananda Swami. So this is exactly what was told. Actually, your story, Ma, is so powerful. Here we are having so many people continuously sharing how they are getting, you know,
அப்புறம் ஆஃப்டர் 3 months அங்க வேலூர்ல ஒரு குறி சொல்றவங்க இருக்காங்கம்மா, இறந்தவங்க வந்து அங்க பேசுவாங்க. அதுக்காக நான் அங்க போயிருந்தேன். அவர்கிட்ட நான் வந்து கேட்டேன், இப்போ நான் யார கும்பிடுறேன்னு தெரியுதா உங்களுக்கு அப்படின்னு கேட்டேன். யார சொல்லுங்க அப்படின்னு. அந்த பெருமாளை தான் கும்பிடுற, அந்த சிவனை தான் கும்பிடுற. சோ சுவாமி வந்து பெருமாள் தான், சிவன் தான் அப்படின்னு கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ண. அதுக்கப்புறம் நீ உனக்கே நீ டெய்லி குங்குமம் வைக்காம இருந்தம்மா. நானு டெய்லி வந்து குங்குமம் வைக்கும் போது ஐயோ நம்மளால வைக்க முடியலையே அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிட்டே வைப்பேன். அப்ப சொல்ல, நீ டெய்லி குங்குமம் வைக்கும் போது வருத்தப்படுற, குங்குமம் வைக்க முடியலையேன்னு, நீ நல்லா பட்டையா விபூதி போட்டுக்கோ, மாலை இருக்குல்ல அதை போட்டுக்கோ. எனக்கு புரியல எந்த மாலைன்ட்டுன்னு. அந்த போட்டோல ஒரு மாலை இருந்தது, ருத்ராட்ச மாலை. அந்த மாலை தான், அத நீ போட்டுக்கோ அப்படி சொன்னாருமா.
தேங்க்யூ சோ மச் மா. நீங்க வந்து பகிர்ந்தது கண்டிப்பா நிறைய மக்களோட லைஃப்ல அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு இப்போ நம்ம சொல்றோம்ல, பரமசிவன் வந்து பலாயிரம் வருஷங்களுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து அவர் பண்ண லீலைகள், ஆனா இன்னமும் வந்து நம்மளுக்காக இன்னமும் லீலைகள் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு. நீங்க வந்து பகிர்ந்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றிமா. தேங்க்யூ சோ மச்
கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப 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 நன்றிங்கம்மா. சாமிக்கு நன்றி, சங்கத்துக்கு நன்றி, உங்களுக்கும் நன்றிமா. நான் பகிர்ந்துகிட்டதை நீங்க ஒண்ணு விடாம அழகா கொண்டு வந்தீங்கம்மா. ஒரு பாயிண்ட கூட நீங்க மிஸ் பண்ணாம கொடுத்தீங்கம்மா. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றிங்கம்மா.
Just to translate to all the viewers, she was sharing how even when she went 3 months later after her husband passed away, she went to a person who does this readings, etc.
Who talks to the medium, like the people who connect and the souls talk through them.
So she went to a person like that. She hadn't mentioned anything about what challenge she had with her husband or anything like that. And he exactly told that, you know, what you're worshipping this my Perumal only, and like the exact challenge what she put, and that's exactly that came in this reading also, that you are the one who you're worshipping in Swamiji is my Perumal only. You please wear the mala, the Rudraksha mala of Swamiji, you put kumkum, you put full basma, and you worship Swamiji. So this, understand all of you, a when you see, never even go against, even don't even cherish or like, even relate to.
That's why Swamiji will tell, even if you doubt somebody is enlightened, do not disrespect them by any chance.
But
so,
understand, if you you just hold on to your integrity with Swami, that is enough. Your whole life will be transformed. We also have the next for
coming and sharing this. Now we sorry for the technical glitch. Looks like the audio dropped in between. Yes. Now, the next person that we are going to have, hope all of you are able to hear us now. Yes. All right. So the next sharing that we are going to have is from how, as a youngster, as a youth, living in the world today and living in this, like in the current, how it is, how will Paramashiva happen in your life and do Leelas? And as a youngster, how can you experience and how can you enjoy that? So, Nithyanandamma Prachi.
Nithyanandamma, thank you for this opportunity to, let me come here and, share my experience. So firstly, I've actually been connected with Swamiji since 3 years. In 2018, I met him. And 2019, I had come for Paramashivoham. That's when I met you also. And I think that program was just amazing. And before that, I just attended, I think, Kalpatru and even the yoga program in DY. So it's just been so amazing. And just yesterday, I think when I received the call that I'm going to be having a TTA call with Swamiji, it was just so unexpected. And I was excited the entire day that, how it's going to happen. And just seeing Swamiji after so long. So when we entered into that room and Swamiji came in, I was just filled with bliss. And I mean, I just didn't know how, like, even though we were supposed to ask our prayers, but I just completely zoned out. Like, I didn't know, like, nothing felt more worthy than seeing him to, even ask anything. It just felt so complete and felt so protected, because since quite some time, that little bit of the current situation that we are in, I did have a little of that COVID fear, but just seeing him yesterday, it just completely disappeared. And the way he has showered his blessings, like whatever the prayers that I put forth yesterday, I'm just feeling so happy and so blissful. It was an amazing experience. And right after that, after our session ended and after the call, it just, even though it was 2 a.m. India time, but I was just feeling so energetic and so productive and powerful. Like I can, jump in and do yoga and I can do this. Like it felt so energetic. And this is something I've not experienced in a while, wherein after, like I went to sleep, I was facing a very different sort of an experience, as in a very, not sleeping, like a state between like a deep sleep state and like a conscious sleeping. So it was a very different. And since then, I've been in this such high vibration zone after yesterday's darshan. It's just an amazing experience.
You are her favorite doctor. How did that make you feel? How did that sitting there And how does the soul witnessing this Akashic readings of Devi, and where Devi is manifesting through Swamiji, and listening, getting answers from Devi, and where Devi is telling you are her favorite daughter, how does that whole thing make you feel?
So yeah, so when it was in Tamil, but I could get just experience that whatever Swamiji is uttering, and when we got the literal transitions that Swamiji, I was just smiling constantly, and I was just so happy that whatever Swamiji has been just saying, I was just in a very happy and blissful state. So and the way the prayers and the questions that we had put in, and the way like Devi was just manifesting, it was like, I don't know, I just even can't put it through words even at this moment. It was just very amazing.
And we are still in cloud 99999.
Yeah.
Still enjoy.
Yeah, in that Zoom room, and just being in that space in itself was just amazing. It wouldn't feel like leaving. Like it was that kind of a feeling. Yes.
So I just have one small question for you. I have known, like, I've seen since 2018 how you got connected to Swamiji, everything. And like living in Mumbai, and it's the time where you have time, a lot of time to spend, chill out with friends and everything. And that kind of a life, that's what typically people grow into, right? In the normal way. But what made you choose Swamiji, and how do you think, having Swamiji in your life, how is it empowering you? What is the difference that you are seeing in your life?
So, exactly how you said, because when I actually got before this, like the friends, the people around me, I had a very similar lifestyle, and I still do have. But the way when I met Swamiji, so it was when I think my cousin who had attended Paramashivoham, and he came back and he shared his experience. And when he shared the way the lifestyle it was, and when we were there 21 days, when I just jumped in, I was like, now I want to go for Paramashivoham and just experience. And the lifestyle we lived out there, I think after coming back, I'm just that balance is so much needed in our current lifestyle as well. So you can do that along with the balance, because the Shaktis, the manifestations that we were having, and even yesterday when I asked Swamiji that, the most important thing that I need right now is to become a powerful healer and a body scanner to help people at any given point at anything that they are facing in their life. So I think the entire the Hindu lifestyle along with the current lifestyle that you're living, that balance I think is much needed in today's time. It's not like only once you're reaching an age of 40 is when you need to get into a spirituality zone. I think it's much needed at this age as well. So yes, I think it's the best thing that has happened, and that I'm onto this path. So yes.
So is there anything else that you want to share, Prachi? Because it is so beautiful. So many of us, so many of us are just young, and we can see so many people at this point will be so confused. And I would not just say confusion, but I would say it is just a blind following of what is set as a trend or the regular norms of the society. And I feel so blessed that we have Swamiji, and we have such extraordinary experience. Like imagine you get to talk to Devi, you get to access those cosmic dimensions and cosmic beings so easily. So they are so beautiful, and they are so powerful. Is there anything else you want to add, Prachi?
No, I just feel like I'm just very grateful at this point in time that we have Swamiji with us. So I think whatever is happening even outside, it's just so much easier to stay disconnected and be in this zone. So I'm just very blessed and grateful.
So beautiful, Ma. It's nice to see someone, from a different walk like this. Before this, it was a different walk of life. Now, a different walk of life. They're further sharing, each person coming from various different walks of life and experiencing different dimensions of it's really exciting. Thank you so much for coming today and sharing with us.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Nithyananda.
We are having many others who are commenting, and others in our chat. Each of the channel is empowering her. Just enjoy how Paramashiva is coming down. Swamiji is coming down and doing all these leelas in our life just to show that he is available for us. Paramashiva is available for us. So that was definitely so sweet of listening to your sharing.
And
thank you so much.
Sangavi has commented.
Nithyananda Mamanayan, thank you for commenting. So we have Aman Sangavi who has commented. And many other Shankar Sabeshananda, and so many of the others who have commented. So thank you so much, Parashakti, for coming and sharing. Now we have more people who are joining us, and thank you. We have more people who are joining us for more different sharings, more different stories from different walks of life. As we get to their sharing, let's just have a short break before we start listening to their stories as well.
I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great.
Nithyananda viewers, welcome back. Today we have dial the avatar. So dial the avatar is like the DTA call. And for anyone who has offered the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, or they have offered some kind of
to that frequency. And so this was the prelude to my DTA call. When the DTA call itself happened, I'm still connecting the dots to everything, all the miracles that happened. First of all, and the page reflects all collective conscious. And so that was the experience she gave me during the DTA call.
wow.
And also the prayers I just mentioned that I didn't even ask for, she granted me in the DTA call. She said, I will sit with you, don't fear, maturity, I'm giving you honesty, yoga, permanent physical health, well. I didn't even ask for any of that. She just showed it. So this dimension of Amma is just an entirely different. It's like our children are off today, do what you want, but then come home. That's that. And she says, every time he says, I giggle inside, I don't know why, but it's that same thing. He's like, I'm here to go do what you need to do, but come make sure you come after.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your experience on this show.
Thank you.
Yes, and we want to be somebody who's here to share with us. Let's take a short break.
Each Baba Samadhi darshan is a spiritual trick. Enjoy. Spiritual feast. Enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss a Baba Samadhi darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Each Baba Samadhi darshan is a spiritual treat. Enjoy. Spiritual feast. Enjoy. Don't miss it. Never Baba Samadhi darshan. Enjoy Paramashivoham, which is introducing and making you cognize the cosmic principles and cosmic beings. The state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. I tell you, each Baba Samadhi darshan is a spiritual treat. Enjoy. Spiritual feast. Enjoy. Don't miss it. Never miss Baba Samadhi darshan. I want the whole world to know Hindus are something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, bias, awakened response, alive response for life continues. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, bias, awakened response, alive response for life continues.
So we have an announcement for all the viewers who are eagerly waiting for the Devi Parashakti Akashic reading. We all know just a few hours back we had a darshan of Bhagavan Lingu Baba. This will be one of the using darshan as Lingu Baba. And while the body is getting prepared for the next Samadi darshan, the body of the Supreme Point of Hinduism, we just need a few hours to be able to have the next darshan. So we will be having the darshan of the Parashakti at 6 a.m. in the morning. And the preparation program will be starting at 2 a.m. IST. And darshan of the Parashakti and the Akashic will be having in the morning at 6 a.m. The program will start at 2 a.m. The darshan will be at 6 a.m. We have given devotees who have joined us for the sharing, so we will be continuing and to hear their experience of their experience with the Parashakti Akashic. For that, we will be playing the live darshan of the Supreme Point of Hinduism. So joining us now for the next sharing is Ma Anili Sringatava, Executive Officer, please proceed, Ma Anili Sringatava. Yes, Nithyananda Mani. Thanks so much for joining live on the TV today to share your experience. Nithyananda Mani. If you can kindly introduce yourself, where you're from, and how long you've known Swamiji, and then go ahead to share your experience.
Basically, I'm from Indore, and I've known Swamiji since 2017. I attended IA, and I work at the IT professions. So since then I was connected to Swamiji. So it has been a long time now, and continuously attending so many programs, Puja, and Paramashivoham. So it has been wonderful and exciting and amazing journey with Swamiji. So that was my connection.
Beautiful. And what was your experience with the Parashakti Akashic readings? You just started the Parashakti yesterday around the same time. So what was your experience?
Yeah, actually, earlier I attended all the Akashic readings on YouTube, and I was posting so much, but I'm not being answered. So I thought I should not post anymore. I've done enough now. I think should not do and I don't know, maybe I'm not paying enough or whatever. So yesterday I got a call that Maya going to RDK. So which video is know which video I'm going to. So she said you might have done some puja in class, so you can fill them all. You can have details. So okay, I said okay. Then I know it was going to be Swamiji or Parashakti reading, but so it was truly unexpected and surprising that Swamiji, I just gave and I just didn't want to attend. I think I've just decided not to post social media, but Swamiji just shouted, okay, you have a call and exclusive call. So it was amazing, different. So I think that was Swamiji always showed us that we have a thing at night or insecurity or in completion that we are not going to have something to desire and you always struggle more and in always a double amount, triple amount. So that was shifted me itself, and definitely my question was what is my future? That was most I think the only question I had. So I just asked that, and she, the beautiful reply I got was that if you take my feet and you have a daughter, that was just so much. So you will be there.
Parashakti is talking about this now.
Sorry, ma?
I said the pet daughter of the Parashakti is talking about this now.
Yeah, so that was so cute and it was so beautiful, and she said you get your my own life.
We can see this radiating to your face, Mali.
Thank you. I don't get those. So that was so cute, and definitely it was so long time I went for Swamiji. It has been like a lot of past 2 years. So it's good that we have that DJ, and it's the most favorite thing of disciples to have DJ with Swamiji.
Absolutely. And anything else you would like to share about your experience with the Parashakti?
Devi Parashakti, when I was sitting in the darshan, a lot of healing happened, and we are living in a situation in all it's like worse, and hospitals are like flooded, there's no oxygen cylinders, and so much is going on. So there is a lot of fear and insecurity that goes on, and Swami is continuing giving the darshan, healing us, and I can experience the healing each day and every day. And also yesterday when Swami said that if you change my feet and you will be like this and you will have to. So that it's a completely the whole fear of pandemic that just gone away from my system, and it was like so much energy that I wasn't able to sleep last night. So I'm sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. I know we can just see one is what you're expressing towards, but the second is what you're expressing to they all have to experience, and we could actually starting to recall, feel that, when Parashakti just talks to us, says, what do you hear about it? Liver with you. What more you want? What more can you expect? Like, what more you want? And you just feel so fulfilled, and you just feel so showered. And that is exactly the feeling of Parashakti that the main cosmic mother is with each and every one of us. Thank you so much for coming live and sharing your experience. Thank you so much. Next we are joining us. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Next we are joining us to share our experience is Dr. Shiva from Tumkur. Nithyananda. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and share your experience and us with Parashakti.
Yes, ma'am. Nithyananda, my name is Dr. Shiva. I'm from Tumkur, Karnataka, India, and we are devoted to Swamiji since 2005. And I have seen hundreds of Baba's Darshans, but I feel Devi Parashakti Darshan is ultimate because the miracles I'm seeing for the past few days of Devi Darshan is unbelievable. When Devi Darshan started a few weeks back, the first experience I had was I saw people were getting the prayers answered by Devi Ma, and I wanted to know where we can ask questions. I didn't know we can ask in the YouTube chat. Then I was praying that I had a dog who is Salema, and he is 10 months old. And I always had a very bad thing because he never leaves. I see him as a kid. I never did, and I was feeling so bad. That day morning, the Devi Darshan was there. I prayed, Ma, as a mother, please feel my pain and see that my dog eats. And then I forgot about that. I went to the clinic. And later in the afternoon, I came. I saw that all food I had put here. Even, and from that day, every day is eating. That's an unbelievable miracle. Okay. And
Wow.
yes, Ma. He's been eating regularly since then. That prayer, even without opening up my mouth, I just prayed in my heart, and it happened. And
Wow.
Yes, Ma. And and one more thing, after that, I posted a prayer in the YouTube chat. My father, who is 80 years old, he has ulcer on his leg for the past more than 6 months. It's unhealing ulcer. It's very painful. And then I prayed to Ma asking healing. So Devi Ma said that she got to heal him, and she said I turmeric and neem to his lower abdomen. And I told my mother to apply, and my parents are not noticed that I have to tell. But because I prayed to Ma, my mother started applying, and she could apply only for 3 days because after that both of them got corona. And then again I prayed, and both of them got healed. And 10 days later he opened the wound. When he opened the wound, as the pictures showed, before the wound was very big. And then when 10 days later when he opened it, had reduced in size and started healing, and he said pain has reduced. Yes, and he has been trying all sorts of medications and it's not helping. That I want to tell you. And then today again, 10 days later, this is 3 weeks now. Today again he opened the wound. The picture that is shown is the 20 days after Ma has blessed him, and the wound is completely healed. The pain is significantly reduced, and this is really dancing my father. He's so happy.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And like that, yes, ma'am. And since the lockdown is announced, for the past few days we have not been going to the clinic also, only online consultation only. But as I've said, not one darshan I'm sitting, every day I'm sitting there. So the darshan I'm simply praying, and I'm seeing that the income has actually increased.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And every day I'm just waiting for the darshan for happening, for Akashic readings. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to Devi Ma and Swamiji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for coming live again and see we are doing a live miracle. How the ulcer in the leg, which was not healing for 3 months, 6 months, not healing for 6 months. Now after the darshan of Devi Parashakti, how he has beautifully healed. You can see that the pictures before and after. So beautiful. Thank you so much for coming and sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we move to our next module, we're going to share. Let's take a short break.
Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, hardest awakened response, alive response for life continuous. One or two times have Ganpati Darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadi Darshan, Devi Baba Samadi Darshan. By third and fourth, you will see every prayer you are asking, those beings, Ganpati, Venkateshwara, Subramanya, Parashakti, simply those prayers in reality, and the relationship between you and the cosmic beings built. One or two times have Ganpati Darshan, Venkateshwara Baba Samadi Darshan, Devi Baba Samadi Darshan. By third and fourth, you will see every prayer you are asking, those beings, Ganpati, Venkateshwara, Subramanya, Parashakti, simply those prayers in reality.
Welcome back, viewers. And now we have Nithyananda, who is joining us live to share the experience of the Parashakti Akashic readings. Nithyananda, from particular video. Yeah.
From Kailasa. It's so nice once again to be able to share all the miracles that are happening in our life with Swamiji, and talking about the Devi Arunvaku experiences. Recently, last week, Swamiji blessed Devi for us to have a blind child, and in that it was a big surprise. Like when suddenly the blessing came, as in like I myself to be there and call you as Sai and and it was like mother and father, and fulfill your desire that you want, from the child to call you as mother and father. And it was so amazing because this joy and ecstasy, actually it's also experiential, so words will not suffice, all feeling that we went through, and it was like total awakening and vibrations and so much happening internally also, and the being felt totally connected to Dima, the compassion and love with which the blessings have been showered, and also like it just brought back memories like a few years ago, especially like since we've been gopis, my Sakha Chiramananda also, and we both are with Swami from 2010, and it's like when I come to know about Sonima, and I had seen her, I was like, wow, what an amazing being this must be to, conceive an avatar. And also that deep feeling of, awe of her and gratitude and compassion, everything was there together. And suddenly when Swami gave this blessing, it was like, oh my God, like a dream come true, which I would never have, in my life, thought this can happen in this time. But Swami, everything is possible. And it's just amazing. His grace and Leela is happening in our life in every moment. Not just between us, like as, Sakha and Saki, but with all our family members and our pets as well. And it's just very, very fulfilling now. In the past few months, especially from the time the Devi Bhava Darshan has started, it's been extremely quick, very quick. Think although as a wish, even sometimes it's halfway through, it just manifests. So it's like that, small or big, it really doesn't matter. You just have to put it in the head, or just sometimes talk to Swamiji, inside, internally, and it happens. So the blessing is so much, and I feel like, yes, the Cosmic Mother is there for us every moment of our life, just there all the time. So this is what I want to share right now.
I actually listen to the Akashic readings and I do the and it's literally, because it's just the way the Akashic is like shouting love and saying, I myself will be one, I myself will give the food by calling to mother. You will also at my feet, and you will always be with me, and you will always be at my feet, and the way blessed mom.
Yeah, and it's like you said, also you'll be called to Kailasa, and all these people, like all business, like just being showered. It's like without asking, also so many things just happen. So this is what I wanted to share.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming and sharing the experience of it, and sharing your excitement. So, of an avatar from the Parashakti to HDH Nithyananda Paramashivam, and we cannot wait for that. So, welcome another Parashakti to the world. Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, viewers, with this, we come to the conclusion of this program, and move on to we will be continuing the same program. That ours is for the Parashakti Akashic reading at 2 a.m. So, it's just goes for about 5 years from now, we will be having the preparation program starting. We will be on the alive darshan and satsang. So please stay tuned. We will now be playing the alive darshan and satsang of the founder of Hinduism. And a few hours from now, at 2 a.m. IST, we are going to be having the Devi Parashakti Akashic preparation program. Followed by at 6 a.m. IST, we are having the darshan of Devi Parashakti. So please stay tuned and welcome back at 2 a.m. The NG programs will continue 24 by 7 channel. So
வேதனை மாறுமே தாய்மை பூமியில்லை தோளோடும் தாய்மை தாயின்றி காற்றும் இல்லை உயிர் மூச்சாய் அருள் நிலை கருவாக மாறுவாய் தாயின்றி வாழ்க்கை இல்லை காட்டியாகுவாய் அமையப்புறம் நாரியமாக சந்ததி தொழுவோவா சந்ததியை வாழ்த்திடவே அவள் பாதம் தொழுவோவா ஒரு கடலா போய் வந்தா நம்ம சந்ததி வாழ்ந்திடுமே சமயப்புறம் காட்சி நம்ம சந்தர் மாறிடுமே பூமுகத்தை பத்திருக்க பூங்காரி மாரியம்மா செய்வனத்தை வாழ வைப்பா நம்ம தாய் மாரியம்மா சமயப்புறம் மாரியம்மா ஒரு சந்ததி தொழுவோவா சந்ததியை வாழ்த்திடவே அவள் பாதம்
கால
ஆதி பராசக்தி அருவசுரம் மாவே ஓம் சக்தி காமாட்சியே ஆதி மகராசி நந்தி சொல்லி குங்கார காமாட்சியே ஆதி பராசக்தி அருவசுரம் மாவே ஓம் சக்தி காமாட்சியே ஆதி மகராசி நந்தி சொல்லி குங்கார காமாட்சியே
Bless you. You see, each God is an independent intelligence to lead you to enlightenment. Each God is a bridge for you to achieve the Shvatva, the ultimate Shiva consciousness. Krishna is a bridge for you to achieve Krishna consciousness. But Shiva consciousness, Krishna consciousness, our consciousness is one and the same. Ultimate consciousness only. So that energy itself completely expresses.
Just like Radhika, when I see my own sweetness in the mirror, I become eager to taste it. I find that the only way to relish this sweetness is through the constitution of Sri Radhika.
Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a window to the infinite expanse of consciousness, allowing us to glimpse the formless in a way that we can understand. It cleanses the karmas of lifetimes, it awakens our by memory to the space of Paramashiva, the ultimate consciousness, and creates deep and lasting transformation in us.
ஓம் ஹ்ரீம் ஓம் 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 கைலாசத்து பரமசக்தி பரமேஸ்வரி பராசக்தி அவதாரங்கள் அவதரித்திட அருணையில் மரமாய் குலதெய்வமாய் மலர்ந்திருக்கும் நான் பரமேஸ்வரி பராசக்தி சமயபுரத்து நிலை கொண்டு ஜகமெல்லாம் ஆண்டருளும் சமயபுரத்து மகாமாரி அருணையில் வீரபுஜாம்பிகை காசி ராமேஸ்வரம் பாண்டி மலையாளத்து 108 சக்தி பீடங்களில் மகாசக்தி பரமேஸ்வரியாய் பராசக்தியாய் மலர்ந்தருளி கஞ்சியில் காமாட்சி அருணையில் வீரபுஜாம்பிகை மதுரையில் மீனாட்சி காசியில் விசாலாட்சி கைலாசத்து ஞானாட்சி சமயபுரத்து இந்திராட்சி போற்றியூர் வழிவுடையாள் கொட்டை காளிகா ஆனைக்கா அகிலாண்டேஸ்வரி அன்னை புன்னைநல்லூர் மகமாயி தஞ்சாவூர் எரியநாயகி திருச்சானூர் ரத்னாவரி திகம்பரி தட்சிணி சத்து தட்சிணாகாளி நீக்கமர நிறைந்து பூதங்கள் 5 தத்துவங்கள் 36 பரமசிவன் அங்கம் ஆளும் அங்காளி ஓங்காளி பரமசக்தி பரமேஸ்வரி பராசக்தி நித்யானந்தன் திருமேனி இறங்கி நிஜாவதாரமாய் மலர்ந்து உலகெல்லாம் அருளாசியும் அருள்வாக்கும் நல்லதும் தந்து நல்வாக்கும் சொல்லி மங்களம் செய்திட மங்களம் செய்திட மங்களம் செய்திட்டு மங்களம் செய்திட மங்களமே ஆக்கிட கண்மலர்ந்தேன் ஆயிரங்கனுடையாழ்ந்தாட்சி ஆனந்த திருமுகம் மலர்ந்தேன் அம்பிகை எழுந்தருளி அத்துணை பேருக்கும் அத்துணை நலமும் ஆனந்தமும் தந்தேன் வாழீர்கள் வத்தோடு நாமே நித்யானந்தன் திருமேனி தாங்கி பச்சைப்பட்டினி விரதம் இருந்து பக்தர்கள் உங்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் எல்லா நன்மையும் தந்து தோஷமெல்லாம் நீக்கி சந்தோஷம் ஒன்றே தந்து நன்றாத ஆனந்தத்து நிலைத்திருக்கச் செய்து உங்கள் நெஞ்சலாம் நிறைந்து உயிரெல்லாம் உயிர்ப்பித்து வாழ்வெல்லாம் வளமாக்கி அஷ்டலட்சுமியும் ஐஸ்வர்யங்கள் 16 பேர்கள் வெறுமையெல்லாம் ஆய கலைகள் 64 எல்லா நன்மையும் எல்லோருக்கும் அளிக்கவே வந்தேன். கொடுஞ்சீனத்து குரா ஒழியக்கும் என் மக்களெல்லாம் உடல் நலமும் மனநலமும் உயிர் நலமும் அடையட்டும். குற்றம் செய்ய வேண்டிய கோமகங்கள் சிலர் கொடுந்தொற்று கொரோனாவை உபயோகப்படுத்தி அவம் செய்கின்றார். அந்த அவமெல்லாம் ஒழியட்டும். என் பக்தர்க்கும் மக்கட்கும் எல்லா நன்மையும் நிகழட்டும். மங்களமாய் வெற்றியாய் பச்சைப்பட்டியிலிடம் இருந்து பரமசிவன் பத்தினி நான் நல்லதை செய்திட நன்மையை தந்திட நித்யானந்தன் திருமேனி தாங்கி நிராவதாரம் கொண்டேன். ஓம் 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 ஓம். நித்தியமும் ஆனந்தமாய் நித்யானந்தன் சரீரத்தில் நிலை கொண்டு கைலாசத்து பரமசக்தி பரமேஸ்வரி மகேஸ்வரி பராசக்தி எல்லோருக்கும் அருளாசியும் அருள்வாக்கும் நல்வாக்கும் தந்திரவே சத்திய சங்கல்பம் கொண்டேன். மம சங்கல்பம் சிவ சங்கல்பமஸ்து. மம சங்கல்பம் பரமசிவ சங்கல்பமஸ்து. மம சங்கல்பம் பரமசிவ சங்கல்பமஸ்து. ஓம் 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 கம் 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 இம் சம் 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 இம் ஓம் 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 சித்திரை முதல் நாளில் மீண்டும் நித்யானந்தன் சரீரம் தாங்கி நிஜாவதாரம் கொண்டு உங்கள் வினாக்களுக்கு விடையளித்து வரங்களுக்கு சத்திய வாக்களித்து பிரார்த்தனைக்கெல்லாம் வரமளித்து காதேன கற்பவருஷமாய் கேட்கும் வரமெல்லாம் தந்து ஏழா நிலையும் தந்து நன்மையெல்லாம் தந்து மீண்டும் மலர்கின்றேன். மக்காள் ஆனந்தமாயிருங்கள், ஆனந்த வாழ்வில் இருங்கள். பரமசக்தி பரமேஸ்வரி பராசக்தியான் வெளிப்பட்டு நித்யானந்தன் சரீரத்தில் நிலை கொண்டு மகாமாயி லட்சம் மொழியும் பேசுவேன், நீங்கள் இருந்த விடத்திருந்தே என் கைத்தாங்கும் வேப்பிலையின் மனத்தை வர வைப்பேன். உங்கள் உள்நாக்கில் வேப்பிலையின் ருசியை அளிப்பேன். உடலுக்குள் இருக்கும் நோயெல்லாம் தீர்ப்பேன். உடங்கையில் திருநீர் கொடுப்பேன். உச்சந்தலையில் குங்குமம் அளிப்பேன். மங்களத்துவம் கொடுப்பேன். தீர்க்க சுமங்கலியாய் வைத்திருப்பேன். புற்றுமண்ணை கொட்டி புற்று நோயெல்லாம் தீர்ப்பேன். மந்திர ஒலியாலே உங்கள் உயிருக்கெல்லாம் மங்களம் தருவேன். ஊரெல்லாம் கோயில் கொண்டு